And she's like, I'm not going to miss the movie. That's my kind of phlebotomist. You know what I'm saying? Commitment to the game, dog.
Jokes in the gym. Jokes in the gym. Not jokes in the gym. Jokes in the gym. Jokes in the gym. With Rudy Tybersi.
Make sure you nail the snacks. Don't make the same mistake my phlebotomist made. And with that yawn, welcome to another episode of Jokes and the Gym. 80 episodes, baby. 80, baby. That is a good amount of episodes. Welcome to episode 80 of Jokes and the Gym. Been coming at you for 80 weeks straight. Can I get a holla? Holla. I'll holla. Valhalla. Shouting out to my Nordic roots. Maybe someday we'll end up there together drinking mead, slinging stories, having fun, but not for a while. That's not the plan. As a friend of the show, Mike Kaplan once said, I don't intend to die. And that's not my intention either. But I am going through some stuff lately that makes me think about mortality a bit more regularly than I would like. I am dealing with this heart issue all year, and then I get a brain tumor diagnosis after a seizure. So that's a lot. And I am dealing with a lot of stuff. And I'm not going to go into everything that it impacts, but I can say that it impacts a lot of my life, especially where the tumor is located on the right frontal lobe. It seems to be operable. It seems to be in a place where we can work on it. And also doing research on what the right frontal lobe controls, operates, it makes a big impact on how I have felt for much of my life. And I wouldn't be surprised if this thing has been here for a decade, or even significantly longer. So I'll do another episode in the future about like impacts and how it's impacted my life and affected me and that kind of stuff. But safe to say it has been something that I haven't thought about being the root of some of my issues. I just, like I've talked about before on the show, said, oh, I'm just tired. I'm older. It's because I'm older. I'm tired. I'm tired all the time. And it's hard for me to multitask. It's hard for me to switch things. It's hard for me to do multiple things at once or change direction. All those, I'm just irritable. I'm kind of a dick. I don't work hard enough. Like, those were all things I told myself, but it gives me a lot of context for how I have felt the way I've felt over the years and how I've acted over the years, to be quite honest. So, yeah, doing research on right frontal lobe stuff, on tumors, on gliomas, on all that. It's helpful to get a clearer picture of the impact that it's had on my life. And moving forward, I'll just be more aware. And one thing that the doctor said, there's a lot going on in my life. There's so many different things. It feels like there's so much going on all the time. One thing that the doctor said, she said that you're really impacted by a lack of sleep. And boy, howdy, yesterday did I feel that. On Saturday night, I couldn't sleep. I barely slept. I got like 4 hours. And I've always been one of those people who knew they needed a full night's rest in order to feel like a human frickin' being. You know what I mean? Human beings. Where are my human beings? Some people are like, oh, yeah, I can go by less sleep, blah, blah, blah. Nope, never been the case for me. I've always needed 7+. And when I hadn't gotten that, I just knew it was not going to work. But yesterday I got like 4 hours of sleep and I hated it. But I had to cancel my clients because I just wouldn't have been able to show up for them. And I woke up in the morning like, okay, I still have time. I can get to sleep before getting back to work. And I wasn't able to get back to sleep. I wasn't able to. And so unfortunately I had to cancel several appointments with clients, and I hate that. I just hate having to do that. But I also know that if I'm not able to show up for them in a way that is actually supportive, that is actually helping, and I'm just like slogging through it, that's not helping anybody. And so thankfully there is enough there's enough room for some flexibility in my role at my work that I was able to call folks up and say, hey, let's reschedule, let's do this another time. And so that's tough because I also like Sunday sessions. I love working out on Sundays with people. It's a great day. I call it kind of a soft open for the week. If you can start your week on Sunday, do it, dog. The rest, then it's like you're playing with house money the rest of the week. You get the week started on Sunday, you're feeling good. You know what I mean? If you get stuff done on Sunday and then you're rolling forward, you're like, this week is money, baby. This week is feeling good. So unfortunately, that was not me. I just had to play catch up yesterday. I was at work for a couple hours, and that was all I could do. And came home and zonked it, just fully zonked it, and was able to kind of catch up on a little bit of rest. But now is the beginning of the week, and it's a big week. There's a lot going on. I got blood work done today. Blood work, Holla, Quest Diagnostics. I was diagnosted. Talked with my phlebotomist. Talked about popcorn. She had a little info sheet on there. Likes popcorn. I chose to go with popcorn over cat talk because her animals were horses and cats. Likes popcorn. Come on now, that's a friend. We chatted. She talked about Jurassic World. She's like, I saw Jurassic World. It was okay, but I was in there the whole time. My mom took me. We didn't get popcorn. She's like, well, why don't you go get some popcorn? And she's like, I'm not going to miss the movie. That's my kind of phlebotomist. You know what I'm saying? Commitment to the game, dog. Spoiler alert. If you want to catch my review of the movie, which I ended up seeing as a direct result of said phlebotomist encounter, stick around after the podcast where you'll get my take on Jurassic World Rebirth. And now, back to the podcast. You seen Jurassic World Rebirth yet, or whatever? Is that what it's called? Rebirth? I'm looking forward to it. I want to see dinosaurs out in the wild. Not really. I just went for a walk and I saw 6 turkey vultures circling overhead. I'm like, where are these pterodactyls coming from, dog? There must be some roadkill over on Royal. So it was weird to see that. But in addition to the blood work, I got that done because I'm having my cardioversion, which is where they shock the frick out of my heart, hopefully back into a normal rhythm. I'm getting that done. On the 18th, send your good wishes, your well wishes, your positive vibes over in my direction. If you can spare some, I'd appreciate it. I'll send them back in kind. I hope you get plenty of good vibes your way, too. I have a friend today who's having a brain surgery on a tumor. There's another person in my friggin' community that's having a brain tumor surgery. Big ups to Mr. Ooh La La. That guy rocks. He brings a lot of joy to the community, and I'm wishing the best for the guy. It's a bummer situation to have a tumor up there, but you know what? That's life. I have another friend who had he reached out on Facebook, and he had a brain tumor surgery a dozen years ago. He was one of my best friends growing up. Shout out to D-Link, man. One of my best friends, the funniest guy I knew growing up. And he had one of these, so hopefully we'll get to reconnect. Have you had a brain tumor? What's happened? What's it been like? How's it gone? And even just writing on some message boards and stuff like that. People are super supportive, want to share, want to communicate, want to connect, all that kind of stuff. So I'm trying to respond to people who've reached out, but sometimes it's kind of hard. I can only do so many things. And so I'm just slowly but surely reaching back out to folks. So thank you if you've reached out. If you want to share, if you want to reach out, please do. Holla. Let me know. jokesandthegym@gmail.com. I've gotten some communique from some friends. Oh my gosh. One of my buddies from college reached out last week and sent me one of our most epic sketch characters, Teddy Laser Schwartz. Oh my gosh, pardon my juice. Back in the day, there's the PMJ, pardon my juice on the wall right here. Oh, It was so epic. He was, in short, he was an American gladiator turned fighter for Christ. And he did like feats of strength in the name of Christ. And that was the premise of the character. And the first one was just a bunch of funny, it was like what was it? The laser gang or the power team. Yes, Teddy Schwartz and the power team had a bunch of kids do a bunch of things for Christ. They weren't kids, they were adults, actors in the sketch troupe. And then the second one, Kellen, my boy Kellen, friend of the show, he played a little boy who had cancer, who had leukemia. And then Teddy Laser Schwartz came to cheer him up to make him feel better in the sketch. And if you want to see some of that, let me know. I can send you the link. But it was a ridiculous sketch, and it might have been where I got cancer, if I'm going to be honest. Might have been where the tumor started. They're like, you're playing with fire, buddy. Can't do that. I kid. But yeah, I got the cardioversion scheduled for next week, the 18th. Brain surgery, probably end of August is what I would guess based on the timelines I've been given. And in the midst of all of this, Oregon Country Fair's this weekend, dog. I'm pumped about Oregon Country Fair. It's exciting. I love that thing. It's like, I think the New York Times described it as like Burning Man in the woods with less tech. And I'll tell you what, they're right about the less tech. It's awesome. I've never been to Burning Man, so I can't speak to that. But it's like a magical 3 or 4 day event in the woods over in Veneta, just down the road from my home. And it's just a blast. It's just a bunch of like hippies and fairies in the woods hanging out, getting sweaty, getting dusty, spreading merriment, eating food, tripping. Some people trip. I'm not a tripper. Well, I'm tripping literally because you're just walking in the dust for days and days in sandals, and I'm like limping by the end. So this year I'm going to take it very easy. I'm going to focus on rest, recovery, hydration, eating food, not overdoing it, getting good sleep, taking my meds, all the fun stuff. Hey, who's partying tonight? You want some anti-seizure medication? Who wants a blood thinner? We're having fun. You know what I'm saying? Let's party. But I'm super excited. You can listen to some of the old episodes where I chat with other people who've gone to fair. Gene, Jora, Devin, Nitai, lots of good folks who've been a part of fair. And I just am so thankful to have been a part of it the last couple of years because it's a new thing in my life. But I love the connection, the joy, the fun, the space for merriment, and so many cool artists, artisans, foods, vendors, stuff to do over the weekend. I kind of liken it to like wandering around Amsterdam because there's just like tons of stuff going on at all times. It's not as wild or debaucherous at points, or maybe I've just not been to those parts of fair, which is possible. And it's so much fun. I'm still looking super forward to it, but before any trip I go on, I feel a little bit of hesitancy, a little bit of trepidation. And this is no different. There's so many unknowns, just like with my medical issues and things happening right now, a lot of unknowns. And those are the things that are hardest to deal with. So there's things changing. There's always stuff changing in the processes and the systems and that kind of stuff. So I have to, not being an old timer at fair, not having been a part of it for years and years and years, which I would love to be in decades from now, having been a big part of fair for many years. We'll see what it's like. And like I said, my goal this year is to connect, to rejuvenate, to rest, to take all my meds. They say it's super duper important that you take 30 days straight of those blood thinners before my cardioversion next week. So just got to stay on top of that stuff and not get too swept up in the mysticism of fair, which is awesome because you can get lost talking to a piece of grass for 40 minutes. You know what I mean? It's dope. I love it. I'm excited for it. I'm going to do my best to not get overstimulated, over fatigued, any of that stuff. And another thing that gave me some positivity going into it. As the brain surgeon, she was like, yeah, have a blast, go have fun. She wasn't like, don't do that. She wasn't like, that sounds stupid, you shouldn't even try that. She was like supportive of the idea when I mentioned it being a part of my next couple months. So that felt good. That felt good. What are my tips if people wanted to what are my tips if people were going to fair for the first time? My tips are hydrate, bring sunscreen. First two. Those are the first two. Make sure to drink water and wear sunscreen. Don't overdo it because there's a lot to do. And it'll be there. It'll be there in the future. So don't feel like you have to do everything. That's the other tip I have for noobs at fair is have fun, enjoy yourself, eat some food. Oh, eat some food, baby. There's this vegan donut place that I love. My food journey this year will involve corn on the cob. I was talking with a man at night by the main stage, and he was eating corn on the cob, and he was like, I was like, how's that corn? He's like, it's why I come to fair every year. And I was like, oh, yeah. And then I went over to the cob store and it was gone. There was no corn, no cobs left to be cobbed. So this year, that's number one on my food list is cob in it. I'm trying to get cob. I'm trying to gobble the cob. I did have some at one of the booths, but I didn't get the corn on the cob that I really wanted. It was actually, I think, one of our challenges last year was cob goblin. Then nobody picked it, unfortunately, so I had to gobble some cob. But I'm just looking forward to stuff like that. Reggie Watts is going to be there again this year. Stoked to see Reggie. If you've probably heard my story, I've told it to a million people a million times about bumping into Reggie in front of the Ritz. Freaking A, the sauna in front of the Ritz. And me and my friend Jory were like, no way is that Reggie Watts. No way is that Reggie Watts. Because we had literally just been talking about him. 5 minutes later, a man who looked like Reggie Watts is in front of our line of sight. And we didn't say anything because we're like, no way, this can't be Reggie. This can't be Reggie. And then as we were like about to leave, Jory was like, I got to go see if it's Reggie Watts. I got to go see if it's Reggie Watts. And sure enough, it was. It was Reggie freaking Watts, and he looked over and waved at me, and he came over, and he is the reason my phone is on dark mode right now. He's like, hey, let me see your phone within 5 minutes of talking, and he like switched it on to dark mode. I was like, sure, yeah, I'll have a different background because of Reggie freaking Watts. The first night I was ever at fair, and then we became like kind of friends, and it's pretty dope. He's coming back again, so I'm excited to see him on the main stage and all that jazz. And so just pumped for a fun weekend of excitement. Moshe Kasher and Natasha Leggero are going to be there doing their podcast. So I'm excited to see that. I will be emceeing shows over at Spirit Tower throughout the weekend in the second half of the day. It's going to be in the high 80s, but we'll be fine. It'll be all good. Got an understudy. Hopefully that understudy wants to host some shows, MC it up. That'd be dope. So I can just rest a little bit. I got friends nearby who are working booths nearby. They were like, hey, you can come on over and hang out, chill. If you just need some quiet space. They know what I'm going through. They know I've got a tomb in my brainy head. And she was like, yeah, come chill out. If you need some quiet spots, I'm literally 20 seconds away. So that's awesome to know that there is support there. And people have been like, write your emergency info on your arm in case you need it. Go talk with the medical team that's there. I will do that as well. So there's support, and I'm excited for that and just to kind of like go at my own pace and enjoy it and have a blast. So what are your tips? What are your tips for fair? Have you been to fair? If you got any tips, holla at me. Reach out on the book, on the gram, on the email. Find me in real life, IRL. Walking the trails. Give me your tips. Show me them tips. And of course, my biggest goal this year is to perform at the Ritz. We'll see if that happens. Oh my gosh, I got so many tumor jokes I want to tell in the nude. We'll see if that happens. But I'm pumped. I'm excited. Just talking about it makes me excited. You know how sometimes you're like a little nervous about something and then you talk it out and you're like, oh, I feel a little better. I feel a little better. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. I'm pumped for that. Goals moving forward. I just want to continue to rest, listen to my body. I tell my clients, you listen to your body, I listen to you. And there's no intermediary for me in that equation personally right now. You know what I mean? Like I have to listen to my body and then listen to me, And there's also my medical teams. I have another appointment with my GP this week, so I'm excited to see them, continue to stay connected there. And just continue to move forward in the process. The functional MRI hopefully will be coming up soon. So I'll be getting an MRI, a brain scan, because I just have the non-fMRI. So it's just a still image. Man, I was looking at the size of my tumor. Tommy is his name. His name's Tommy. I'm Tommy the Tumor. I just imagine meat wad up in my brain, a golf ball sized meat wad. What's up, Rudy? Time to nap. Oh, say that out loud. Oh, you're tired. Oh. That's Tommy. And fucking sucks, man. But I just want to do my best. I want to get ready for the procedure so it can go hopefully as smoothly as possible. All the procedures, all the stuff that's going forward. We can't prepare for everything. I wish it was happening sooner. I wish it could all just be. I'm looking forward to having it proceed. I know the rest of this year will be a time of change and recovery and taking it slow. But the team was fully confident that I'll be able to get back to training and working out and being a trainer and all that kind of stuff. So that's the mindset I'm taking. I'm making jokes. I'm being positive. I'm sharing with folks about it. If you want to share any of your stories, tumor related or otherwise, again, reach out. Maybe we can chat on the pod. Maybe we could chat on the pod. I want to have more people on the pod. It's just been so much stuff going on right now that the guestiolas have kind of taken a back seat as far as the pod because it takes so much time and effort to produce all that. And I'd love to get back to interviews sometime soon. So keep that going. I want to keep the pod going forward. Keep it honest, open, real. Have it be myself, not super serious, not super sad, not always super silly either, because I'm serious, silly, and sad. That's all those. I'm all those things. I contain multitudes of multitudes. You know what I mean? Sometimes people don't like that. A common refrain I've been getting from people when I've been telling them about this tumor and the challenges it's provided in my life, they're like, but you seem like you have so much shit together. And that's another thing about tumors, is that if people have them, you might not know. We just present as normal people, but guess what? We've been masking with hard work, with other types of things for so long that it just becomes part of who we are. And thankfully I've found out about this stuff at a time where it's still operable, procedurable. There's something we can do, and hopefully we can get moving forward and there can be some relief. And hopefully this cardioversion in a couple of weeks kind of shocks my heart back into a normal rhythm, and that can be another propulsion to move forward, because again, the doctor said the two are likely connected. And from what I've read about cardioversions and AFib, atrial fibrillation, which I'm also in. So it's like irregular heartbeat, tumor, going on at the same time. What's next? I got other shit that's going on too. I won't even. I'll tell you the deets later. But oy vey, it's been a year. It's been a couple years. I've been trying for years and years to get to the bottom of this stuff. I've told people I feel like I'm operating at like 70%. And now I honestly know why. Because there's this thing in my brain sucking up my energy, sucking up my personhood. Hey, I'm Tommy. I just want to thank all your fun. And so Tommy's there doing his thing. Hopefully we'll scoop him out and give him his little meat wad home somewhere in a biopsy lab in San Francisco or whatever. We'll figure it out. But I want to keep working at the Y. I'm excited to maintain a comfortable workload. And I'm working on like other personal matters at the same time, like medical leave and other stuff that I got that takes a lot of paperwork and record keeping. And so I'm moving forward with a bunch of stuff, and I'm just trying to not fake the funk. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to fake the funk. I'm just trying to be as funky as I am. And I hope that you're trying to be as funky as you are. I'd love to hear from you. If you like the pod, rate and review. Give it a review, please, on the tunes of I or Apple or whatever. Give it a rating because I want to keep this thing going, and hopefully it can provide some fun, some positivity, some perspective to different people in their lives. I had a friend or two reach out recently. Shout out to the friends, the homies who've reached out, and I really appreciate that. So hope you're doing well. Hope you're swang-a-lang-a-langin', feeling good, making connections in your life. Hope you're like smooching somebody. I hope you're doing good stuff. I hope you're enjoying your day-to-day, and I hope you're listening to your body and taking care of it and being a part of the communities and being present in the freaking life that you have, because it's a good one. Thanks for your time. Thanks for your energy. Thanks for just being you. We'll see you next time, dogs. See you at fair. See you at freaking fair. Let's have a ball.
Jokes in the gym. Jokes in the gym. Not jokes in the gym. Jokes in the gym. Jokes in the gym. With Rudy Tybersi.
You ready for the review? You want the Jurassic World review? Want to come hang out? Come here. Poos. Come here, buddy. Yeah, you. Come on. There's my friend. Hi. How are you? Yes. Do you have something to say? No. You just want to hang out and look handsome as you can be? I own a cat cast. Thank you. Yes. There's your nice little anus. Oh, yes. Hi. Good friend. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, friend. I love you too. Yes, I do. Thank you. That's my good friend. Thanks, buddy. You ready for the review? You want the Jurassic World review? I know Milk was excited about Jurassic World. He'd been waiting to see it just like me and my mom. Me and my mom went to see it tonight, and it was fun. It was nice. I was like, hey, I want to see that movie. I got a little free time. I got most of the podcast done. I got my phlebotomy needs taken care of. And so I asked old Freudis if she wanted to check out the movie. And she was like, yeah, that sounds nice. And so we went to my favorite theater here in town, the Metro, Broadway Metro downtown. Yes, look at these two gray tails, those stripy tails. Oh my gosh. The movie was good. The movie had a bunch of new dinosaurs in it. Rebirth, right? That's the whole thing. I'll tell you this. I enjoyed it. The phlebotomist had it right. It was good. It was fine. The movie was fine. It was everything it needed to be as a Jurassic World rebirth, as a reboot of the franchise. And nothing more, and not a cent more. Like, it was fun. There was moments. I ate popcorn. I jumped when there was some lines, but it almost felt like it could have been written by an AI generator. Like, it was just so predictable. I liked the length, fair enough. 2 hours, right over 2 hours, a shade over 2 hours, which was good. Perfect amount of time to get 2 small popcorns and a bit of soda. I tell you what, the movie gets about a 6.5 or 7 out of 10 on my scale. Like, yeah, I enjoyed it. I recommend you go see it in the theaters if you like dinos. Go check it out. But don't expect Hamilton the musical. I don't know why you'd expect Hamilton if you went to see Jurassic World Rebirth. But go if you want to have a movie time in the summer. That's what you go for, right? You go to see a movie, you see some dinosaurs, you go, whoa, look at that thing. Cool. Who gives a shit? That's what you do. And, when I think of sequels to Jurassic Park, what do I want to see? I want to see a freaking T-Rex in Texas. I want to see, I want to see Brontosaurus in the Twin Cities. You know what I mean? I want to see a pterodactyl over Tallahassee. I want to see, and that's not what Rebirth was about. Rebirth was more like Afterbirth. No, I don't know what that means, but it made me laugh. It was fine. It was just like, it kind of was like, it was the detritus that comes after Jurassic Park. It was the extra stuff that you're like, oh, I wonder what happened when they were testing other dinosaurs. And we saw a bit of that. And to be honest, I wasn't into the big baddie. I wasn't into the big final baddie. I was fine with how they structured the story and the different characters. Okay, they did what they needed to do. But the final bad dino was just a little too grotesque for me. It was a little meh. Yeah, it didn't need to be all that, And there was some fun nostalgia in there. There was a couple dinos we saw again. That I liked the T-Rex scene. We saw the spitter before him. That's the nostalgia scene. It was fun. I had a good time. If you want to go see a movie in the summertime in the city, Jurassic World Afterbirth. That's for you. 6.5 out of 10 dinos. Check it out for some popcorn. Make sure you nail the snacks. Don't make the same mistake my phlebotomist made. Get the right amount of snacks. Buy your popcorn. I was playing a game. My game during the movie was I eat popcorn. I get a handful of popcorn every time I see a dinosaur. And then I have a dinosaur with every shot of a dinosaur. Every new dinosaur or every cut of a dinosaur. I didn't have to, but that's what gave me permission. Not that I needed permission, but it was just a fun dino popcorn chomping game to play. And if you want one of those, I recommend the movie. Frostner, did you want it out? I think my girl wanted out. The Grabies are inside. I did like some of the updated dinosaurs. The new Brontosauri, they were a fun addition. I liked that one. I liked some of the water dinos, some of the air dinos. I just wasn't about all of the new mutant dinos. So it was fun. I recommend it. Go have fun. Take your mom. Go to the Broadway Metro. Tip. Have a good time. And this has been Rudy Reviews of Movie. Nobody asked for. Here you go. Thanks.
Jokes in the gym. Jokes in the gym. Not jokes in the gym. Jokes in the gym. Jokes in the gym. With Rudy Tybersi.